solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice, even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. And they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of God. You can be seated right there. I'm going to read the rest of this chapter. It's not very long, 10 verses total. We've not read a few of them. But I'm going to start right there. God was talking to His people, and He was basically telling them that the desert place, it's a dry place, it's a barren place, but He said that they will rejoice because they will blossom and they will bloom and go forth. Those are the place, and this was going to happen. Prophecy basically that was going to come to pass. And God basically was saying to them, I'm going to turn your situation around. I'm going to change things. And I'm glad when God changes things. Sometimes we feel like we're in a desert, and sometimes we feel like we're in the rainforest, and everything's beautiful, blooming, and all that. And but God's able. Verse number 3 says, strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. And say to them that are fearful of heart, be strong and fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. Even God with a recompense, He will come to save you. The eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. The lame man shall leap as the hart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. And in the habitation of dragons, where each lay shall be the grass, and reeds and rushes. We'll stop right there. God's saying to us, He says, strengthen the weak hands and the weary. Tell them that are fearful to be strong, and not to fear. We don't have to fear because God's with us. God designed us, and Ashley had read it, a statement somebody had wrote. She was reading it to me. It was powerful. And it was talking about a lot of times we're unhappy because we don't challenge ourselves. We're designed to be challenged. We're designed to go forward in life and do things. It's when we sit complacent, depression sets in. When we sit complacent, a lot of things fight our mind and battle and war against us. A lot of things going on inside because we're complacent. I think some of us, we need to strengthen our hands. We need to get our mind right. We need to get our focus right. Quit being afraid of everything. There's things that are in front of us a lot of times. It's fearful. And a lot of times because we don't know what the next step, what's going to take place when we take a step. When we begin to go forward, we don't know what's going to take place. So we find ourselves stuck. We find ourselves complacent. We find ourselves in a desert in our mind, in our life, in our home. And we're saying, well, but we're comfortable there. We find ourselves comfortable there, but we're comfortable there because we've been there so long that we've become used to the environment that we've created around us. But God's designed us to be, people that will face a challenge, that to accept the challenge, to rise above the occasion when things come our way. People have come, a lot of things have come to people. You'll see men and women. It seems like they rise up to meet the occasion when it hits them. It's like, man, on their own, they think, well, I can't do it, but something comes, and that something, no matter what it is, it'll come and hit at times and begin to seem like it's going to tear us down or knock us down. And we'll say, man, that trial, that storm, that thing is going to overtake them. But you see them begin to rise up out of the darkness, begin to rise up out of that old miry clay and come up and overcome and conquer the very thing that stood before them. We are meant to be challenged. We're not meant to be complacent and to sit still. But we're meant to go forward and to go forward in the things of God. But in that desert place, when we decide that we're going to walk in the will of God and we're going to follow after the plan of God and we're going to allow God to lead our lives and direct us, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's fearful and we're afraid that we're going to have to step out and do something a little bit different and challenge ourselves. and allow God to challenge us and push us forward. But as we do those things, and as we obey that voice of God, and we listen to that voice, and we're searching for Him, we're listening to Him, we're applying His Word, it is then that the wilderness of water shall break out and streams shall be in the desert. I don't know about you, but I want streams to be in desert places in my life. I know there's been times that I said, God, I don't know if I can do that or not. Sometimes ministry is uncomfortable and it's scary, especially starting out. When God begins to challenge us and to push us forward and we're supposed to trust Him and to do His will, it's a scary thing. It's scary. We start, say tithing, for instance. We start saying, God, I don't know if I can tithe or not, because if I tithe, I won't have enough money to do this, and I won't have enough money to do that. And it's kind of scary because there's an unknown. But when you do it and you obey God and you walk with God, you look back and say, man, I don't know how I ever afforded not to. That's where I am. And I thank God that He taught me that. But there's other times that God, I remember dealing with my heart. He said, Andy, I want you to go forward. I want you to step out and do street ministry. I said, God, I ain't even hardly preached in a pulpit. I'm scared to death to go out there on the street and do that kind of thing. But God, remind me of Scripture, how shall they hear without a preacher? And, and I would read places and it would say, go into the highways and the hedges and compel them to come in. And God would deal with my heart, and I'd read those, and I'd feel it pulling at me. And I said, God, I don't know. Couldn't you use somebody else? And, couldn't you use this one or that one? They're a lot better than I am. I don't know if I'm able to do it. But when I decided to take a step of faith and do it, I had some people beside me said, look, will you go with me? I don't really know what I'm doing. And we went out there in Stanford and set up the housing projects. I remember God speaking to me and said, Andy, I want you to go to this particular place. And I went down there and I wanted to get permission. So I walked into the housing projects and I said, can I set up, a little table and a little tent and have some cookies and stuff and have some preaching and singing? They said, no, we don't allow that here. And I walked in my car and I said, God, but you told me to come up here. I don't know what to do. And I drove on up. I said, well, I'll go up here to the cul-de-sac and turn around. And as I was heading up, I noticed the blacktop changed. You ever seen the blacktop change? It says in the maintenance on a highway or something. I noticed that and I looked and it was the same type of houses and stuff, but it was a different housing project. I was on the right street down there. I think it was Star Street is what they call it. And my Saylor. So I went on up and there was another office for that section. I said, man, I might have heard the voice of God. So I walk in there and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. They said, you need electricity? I said, that'd be great. They gave me opportunity for electricity and we went up there and we done those things. It was a scary step, but it taught me some things. So then from there, started going to the courthouses. Y'all remember us doing that down Stanford, Richmond, Lancaster, different places. God was teaching them. Even though I was afraid every time that I stepped out there, every time I stepped out, God would help me. God was teaching me things and teaching me that I could trust Him. Teaching me that it was all right to stand out there. And that's hard to do, to get out in front of a crowd of people that you don't know and begin to preach. You don't know if they want to hear you or not. You don't know what they're thinking or anything like that. You don't know if they're going to say or do. But it can be a scary thing. So what I'm telling you is, even though obstacles are in front of us at times, we've got to challenge ourselves. When God deals with us, we've got to say, okay, God, you've dealt with my heart. You're pushing me this direction, and I'm scared to death. And I don't know. I may flop. I may mess up. I may fail. Every time I set up the tent, I say, God, I don't know, how this is going to go. And I don't know, all this stuff. And kind of scared and nervous about this. Anybody going to come? There's been times that there were just very few that came. There was other times that we had several that come out and was a part of it. But every time that we obey God and we do God's work, God's blessing will be with us. We won't sit around depressed. We won't sit around walking in the same struggles over and over again. The children of Israel, they walked around in the wilderness as long as they did. It would only took them a couple weeks to get to where they were going. But for 40 years, they walked around the same mountain, the same path, kept going in the same circles because they kept making the same decisions, the same choices. We find ourselves doing that many times. God's not pleased with that. God doesn't want that. But I'm glad that God's patient. Even though sometimes what we're doing doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. I find myself, I've been there. There's been times that voice of God spoke to me and I said, yes, sir. bam, and hit it, whatever it was. But then there's been other times that I've struggled. Other times that I've wondered, oh God, is this the right thing? Is this the right direction? Is that really you, God? Oh yeah. You're thinking, man, I need to go pray for that person. And then the first thing you say, God, is that you? I promise you it ain't the devil telling you to go pray for somebody.
Right, true.
Not one time has the devil ever said, you're to go pray for them. You're to go tell them about Jesus. The devil, no, it doesn't happen like that. But when God deals with us and we do what He says and we're obedient, those dry places, I believe it's then that river can come because we've been obeying Him and listening to Him and following after Him. He's just that kind of God. You think about that. He'll bring His water, His Spirit among us. He said that He inhabits the praises of His people. God knows what He's doing. And verse 8 says this, and a highway shall be there, a way, and a way, it shall be called the highway of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring man, through the fools, and though fools shall not inherit, never therein. But He's saying that there's a place for the people that will obey God. A path that is called holiness. A path that is called righteousness. That the wicked, the double-minded, the unstable, all that, said they can't come. Not for them. But it's a place where we can come. Basically into His presence and walk with Him. Said no lion shall be there. No ravenous beast shall go up thereon, and it shall not be found there. But the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. And they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. When we walk in what God wants us to walk in, we will have battles, we'll have troubles, we'll have problems, we'll have challenges, and that's okay. It's all right. It's all right to face challenges. It's all right to face difficulty. It's all right when obstacles and circumstances rise up that we don't understand. That's all right. God has designed us and made us to be overcomers. We're made overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. God didn't design us to sit back and everything go our way. Designed us. He knows that we're going to live in a world that's full of sin, a world that's full of opposition, a world that's full of the powers of darkness. He knows that. And He designed us to be the kind of people that we can yield ourselves servants unto God and say, you know what? Yes, it's a challenge. Yes, it's hard. Yes, I'm bloody, I'm bruised, I'm beat up, I'm challenged, I'm struggling, I'm worn, I'm fighting. But He has designed us to be people that could war and fight and seek and follow after Him. Or we make a choice many times to lay down, to give up, to throw in the towel, to quit and whine and cry and say, God, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. God doesn't design, He didn't design us to be like that. He designed us. We have feelings, we have emotions, we have desires, we have all that, but we also have a God that is fighting for us, a God that will walk with us, a God that will lead us through this life, that when things come, when darkness is all around us and fighting us and got us surrounded, God said, I'm with you. I'll never leave you. I won't forsake you, but I'll go with you all the way until the ends of this world. That's the God that we serve. He said, when the challenges arise, when heartache comes, when it rains on the just and the unjust, it's okay. God said, I'm still with you. I've got you covered. He said, no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. It doesn't mean that weapons won't come, that warfare won't come. But when it comes, we can rise up. And even though there's times that we've got to walk in desert places and dry places, don't get weary in well-doing. Don't get weary in that place, but just rise up and say, you know what? I'm in the desert right now, but as I keep on walking, somewhere there's going to be a stream that's going to come up out of that parched ground, and it's going to begin to water things around me. When you look in that desert, you heard the Nile River and the Tigris River. You go down there and you fly over top of that. I heard a preacher say they flew over that area, and that river running down through there, there's desert on the sides, but for a long ways that river, you can see the green, the trees, the grass that's being fed off of that river. The Bible talks about in the temple, that temple, there was a river that flows from that temple. And everything that the river touched, it's healed. It grows. It's plenteous. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Everything. He was talking about the Spirit of God. So when we're walking through those dry places, know that there is a river. There is a river. And we just got to keep walking. Keep serving. Be obedient. God, I'm not going to sit here any longer. I think some of us just need to make our minds up. We're going to serve and follow after. I find myself having to make my mind up more than once. Find myself saying, God, I need you to help me. Challenge me. I came home the other day and I